And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky. God, I can't talk today.
I know.
Are you ready to rock?
I am ready to rock.
Are you ready to roll?
Maybe. I can't really roll as much as I used to.
Are you ready to turn it up to 11?
Maybe. Are we going to a rock show? Sounds like we're going to a rock show.
We're going to a rock show today.
Oh, I think we also are going to invite a friend of the rock show.
We are inviting a friend of the rock show.
Awesome.
Who are we inviting?
We are inviting a very special guest who is just as into the 90s as we are, because we grew up in the 90s.
Yep.
This guy is I would say part of a three-part hosting crew of an awesome nostalgic podcast called Notable Nostalgia.
That's a lot of ends.
It's a lot of ends. And there's another end coming up. And Andy, there's an N in there somewhere. But Second letter. But we would like to welcome to the Simpsons Did It podcast, Andy from Notable Nostalgia.
Hey, here I am. I'm super pumped. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Are you ready to go to the rock show?
Oh, heck yeah. I'm glad I'm going to a rock show and not some bloody splish splash show, so.
Yeah. As long as a rock show doesn't completely break out in a brawl.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, those could be fun.
So, today we are talking about Season 3, Episode 22, The Otto Show. And this is one of the few Otto-centric episodes of The Simpsons, so that's kind of neat. We had a lot of people, actually, when we reached out, wanted to do this episode.
Yep.
So it's a very popular episode. The original air date is April 23rd, 1992. So still early 90s. We're getting 2 more episodes till the
season finale.
Recap. When Otto loses his license, he moves in with the Simpsons, who try to help him get his job back.
So have either of you lost your licenses?
No, actually, all my friends made fun of me because I'm such a granny driver. I drive 2 miles under the speed limit, so no tickets or accidents. I'm good.
I've been in one accident. I've gotten 2 speeding tickets, and I've gotten stopped 2 other times for speeding. So I'm the opposite way. I like to speed, but I've never lost my license.
That's good. I mean, I guess I didn't lose my license, but I lost my job because of my driving.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, not the greatest driving record for me.
No. So, we get our usual intro. We see the chalkboard gag as we zoom in on the school, and Bart this week is in detention because he will not spin the turtle.
Ooh.
Because he spun the class turtle.
I didn't know they had a class turtle.
Well, I mean, they had class goldfish, class bunny rabbit.
Well, Bart just killed the goldfish a few episodes
ago. So they had to replace it.
So you replaced it. So, I mean, do you think this is a detentionable offense?
Absolutely.
Andy? You think so?
I would say so. I've never had a turtle, but I know me personally, I wouldn't like to be spun, so so I can only imagine what the turtle's going through.
Yeah. I mean, I have a tortoise. And only one time, and it was a complete accident, he did wind up on his shell, upside down, and he was not happy about it. He was not very happy. But, I mean, we always try to figure out how Bart gets into these situations and into the chalkboard. And I have to imagine this was almost like a recess time type thing. Or what do you think? They were trying to play spin the bottle, but they didn't have a bottle, and so Bart was like, "Hey, we got a turtle. He spins."
But who do you kiss? Is it where his head lands on another person?
Yeah, I would go head.
Okay, all right. So couch gag this week is a repeat. We have Santa's little helper laying on the couch, chilling and vibing to himself, and the Simpsons want to sit down, and they disturb him, and he growls at him. And as we've mentioned in previous episodes, the Simpsons usually do repeats because of not time constraints, but just
because they wanted to just do 2 per season, 2 couch gags per season. And then I don't know if you know this, Andy, but they realized that people, when they were watching reruns or watching the show or watching new episodes, saw the couch gag and just assumed it was a repeat because they had already previously saw the couch gag.
100%. When I was a kid, I was like, "What? I've seen this one before." I thought they did a new one every time. So yeah, I can definitely, I see that for sure.
Yep, and that's why they stopped, or just banished the couch gag altogether.
Well, they still do it a little bit here and there when they have like a special like guest animator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're few and far between, but
just like the
day,
chalkboard gags.
Yeah, those are kind of sad. I wish they would do more, but you know. All right, so we open up the episode. We see Bart. He's wearing his Spinal Tap t-shirt. And apparently this is Spinal Tap's world tour. And the world to The Simpsons is London, Paris, Munich, and Springfield.
That's quite a haul from Europe to the U.S.
Just for one show, mind you.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have a tour bus for one city. Like, where are they going? I have no idea.
So Andy, have you seen the Spinal Tap movie, the mockumentary on Spinal Tap?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when I was younger, I wanted to learn how to play music, and then my dad's like, "Well, anybody that's a musician and wants to be in a rock band, you have to watch this movie." And yeah, it makes sense.
It is a fantastic movie, and Steve likes to give me grief for movies that are referenced in The Simpsons that I have never seen. Well, guess what? Steve has never seen Spinal Tap.
Oh, weird. It's worth watching. It's good. It's a great movie.
I know. I just never, for whatever reason, every time I saw it on TV or every time I saw it on a streaming service, I was like, I don't know what... I get why everyone makes it sound like, the greatest movie. And I'm like, I just would never, just wanted to... And I own 800 plus physical movies in my house, up on my shelf. And it's just, I've seen a lot of movies in my time. And that was just one of them that just never wanted to jump out at me, which is kind of sad. But, I mean, I think eventually I might end up watching it.
And for those who don't know, Harry Shearer, who is a, Simpsons voice actor, was one of the original members of Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
So
I guess they were kind of upset because they had to pay for the rights to use Spinal Tap, and they're like, "We could have just got a normal band. Like, why did we have to go this route?"
I'm
glad they did though.
I feel like though Harry Shearer could have been like, "No, I'm one of the members of this band. You don't have to get any permission."
But he probably doesn't have that authority.
No, as one of the members, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if he got paid twice. That's
probably why he wouldn't say anything.
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, sorry, my hands are tied, everybody."
Yeah, right. And so Bart and Homer are going to see Spinal Tap.
Well, actually, Homer isn't going. He's driving.
Yeah, which was really weird. It seemed, from this whole intro, it seemed like Homer was actually chaperoning Bart to this concert. Like, actually going in. And Homer was so excited. Like, it just felt like Homer was so excited.
Yeah.
To see it.
Also, Spinal Tap made their first appearance in 1979 and had, as I've mentioned, a movie mockumentary that came out in 1984.
So they've been around a bit.
They have been around a bit.
And see, this is another thing. So Homer actually wears his concert-going jacket. Like, he makes a real point about doing so. I mean, it's really weird that he didn't go to the concert. But he loves that it still fits, which... Apparently Homer, is back to his college day weight, maybe.
Or maybe he was just still that fat in college.
Maybe. And there was a beer still in the jacket, and it was a brand called Billy Beer. And not sure how long it's been in there, but it's been in there long enough to make sure it's not good anymore.
Yeah.
So have you guys ever found, like, you wear an old jacket or something and there's, like, a candy bar in there? Have you ever... I've never done that. Not that I can remember.
Sometimes I found, like, $5 or, $10. I'm like, I'm rich.
Yeah.
It's just out of the blue. I do like how Homer just slams a beer minutes before driving children, though.
Yes. I'm sure he was already drunk prior to even that beer.
Yeah. That's funny.
Well, but see, that still just makes me think, like, okay, Homer's really getting ready to go to this concert.
Yep.
And so we see Marge. Marge comes in. She's like, "My little guy's first rock concert. I hope the Spinal Taps don't play too loud." And then Homer's like, "Oh, Marge, I went to thousands of heavy metal concerts, and they never hurt me." And then Marge starts saying something to Homer, but all he hears is nothing but ringing in his ears.
Yeah.
And I'm totally with Homer. I mean, I've been going to rock shows since I was probably 15, 16. And I know by college, I never had the ringing in my ears, but after a show, like me and my friends, we'd all go to a restaurant to have dinner or midnight snacks or whatever, and we've had waiters and waitresses stare at us because we're literally shouting at each other.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't have an exact number, but I've probably been to 200 concerts if I had to put a number on it. And so my hearing is just awful. So sometimes if it's depending on the pitch someone's talking, I have no idea what they're saying. I'm like, yeah, all right, maybe. And then nothing too. I don't want to like confirm yay or nay on anything when they're telling me something. So I always kind of leave maybe we'll think about it.
Man, I
have no idea what they're saying.
I got some catching up to you guys doing because I've probably only been to maybe a dozen or so concerts. I mean, most of them have been rock concerts. But most of them also haven't been close enough to the stage where I would probably lose my hearing. But I'm still kind of going deaf, so.
I have seen one band 25 times. My favorite band, Cheap Trick, 25 times. So,
Nice.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
I mean, I don't think I've ever been at
see
that. I mean, I don't think I've ever been to that level. I mean, I'm guessing, did you, like, not maybe jump on the road and go on tour with them, but was it in multiple cities, or was it all in your home?
Actually, one time we did a 2-week vacation where we followed Cheap Trick from California all the way up to Canada. So it was California, Oregon, Washington, Canada. And I saw like 8 shows during that time, so that was a big chunk. But my very first time, I saw him in 1997 originally. I was like 9 years old, and then I've seen him, ever since then. So
was that your first concert?
It was Cheap Trick and Everclear in Portland. Nice. Yeah, 1997. It said special guests, and Everclear's favorite band is Cheap Trick, and they're from Portland, so they opened for them. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, see, my first show is, everyone always laughs at me, but my first show was Dave Matthews Band.
Nothing wrong with Dave Matthews.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they were playing outdoor concert, and a bunch of friends were like, I mean, it was only like 20 minutes from my house, and so we were like, hey, let's just go. We got tickets. So, I mean, my second show was Green Day, so I think I got better. Nice. So I wanted to get the bad taste. Not that Dave Matthews Band was bad, but I wanted to get the bad taste of that music out of my head and go see a real punk rock show.
My first concert was Stain, Seether, and Papa Roach, which it sounds great. However, as much as I love Stain and Seether's music, I was not impressed by him live. Papa Roach was fantastic, but Stain and Seether, it was too slow for music. But I believe my second concert was Foo Fighters, and that was fantastic. And I've seen them 3 times. I'm thinking about going for a 4th for Summerfest this year because of the fact of COVID.
Yeah. So I like how Homer's like, yeah, I hear you. Come on, boy. And Selma's like, there goes Davy Crockett in his bald skin cap.
Man, I love those two. They're hilarious.
Yeah. And so Homer and Bart, are listening to the radio, and they say Mayor Quimby's honored the band, and DJs make a pun on how Quimby is trying to tap into the spines of young voters. And, it makes Bart annoyed because, he wants to go see, band.
Yeah. And the old guy is making fun of it.
Yep.
In a punny way.
Yeah. And so we see they go pick up Milhouse because Milhouse is always weird to me. I never took him as a rock show type kid.
No.
But this could be more, well, he's dressed as. He's wearing a leather jacket. Like, kind of like what are those, like, spikes on the shoulder?
Yeah.
And no shirt, like, going completely shirtless.
This is like the beginning of Thrill House,
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Thrill House.
So I was curious about that jacket, because he said it takes 50,000 Bazooka Joe comics. So I was like, I wonder how much money that would be. So I couldn't find. Did you look?
No, I did, but I was gonna say. I mean, I think those were like 25 cents.
See, I wasn't sure. In 1950, when they came out, they were 1 penny for one. So I just did it by inflation. So it was 6 pennies in 1992. So that would be about a $3,000 jacket. Which is crazy. Wow. Even by inflation,
I didn't even think about doing that because I'm like, oh yeah, Bazooka Joe, they're super cheap. But 3,000. How much like Luann and Milhouse's dad is like, all right, here's more Bazooka Joe.
They had a Sam's Club membership, and they bought like the 5-pound bags of.
Sam's Club's is like Costco, because I don't know how far-reaching Sam's Club's is. So it's basically Costco, but I think it's a Midwest thing. I don't know if you guys have it out in Portland.
Well, you got to remember, Milhouse's dad, he's a bigwig at the Cracker Factory.
That
So
is true.
he can afford all that Bazooka Joe.
For now, anyway.
Yeah.
And so they go to Springfield Coliseum, and tonight only, Spinal Tap. The N, I like this. The N had 2 dots over it.
That's how they spell it for the band.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was like a weird German.
Nope, that's how, because the mockumentary.
Oh. Yeah, see, you guys can fill in all these gaps for me.
See, if you'd seen the movie, you know.
Yep, and so this is where we learn that Homer, waits in the car during the concert, and Bart asks him if he'll be bored, and Homer says he's had some of his best times in the back seat of a car, and we get a flashback of him on Makeout Point with his car rocking back and forth, but he's eating food.
And here's the thing about this entire scene, and I'll make mention more when we get to our final thoughts. He never moves to the back seat. Whenever we see him in the car, he's in the front.
Right. Yeah.
But have any of you guys eaten so hardcore that you make a car rock?
No.
But now it's like on a bucket list. It's like it's gonna be an event.
I'm gonna go to Makeout Point, buy pizza, chips, get some beer, and just go to town on all that bad boy and make my car rock.
Yep.
That's funny.
And so as Bart and Milhouse are walking in, they go past a bunch of the knockoff tents.
Yes.
Which if you guys ever been to a concert, obviously outside the venue, usually there's a lot of knockoff stuff. And we see comic book guy. I don't know why, but he's selling shirts, and he's like, check it out. Spinal Tap kicking Muammar
Gaddafi.
Oh, Gaddafi?
Yes.
In the butt.
Yeah.
Timeless classic. Now 2 for $1.
If it's so timeless, it would be 2 for $1. But it was weird because I wasn't sure if that was comic book guy because it didn't really look like him.
Same, yeah.
It did. It was weird,
and it sounded like him, kind of. So yeah. I would say it is. If somebody like pressured me, I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those weird things where even in season 3 so far, where I know Carl and Lenny, we talked about it in podcast past, where they kind of switched voices. Yep. And, they just didn't have everything kind of locked down yet.
Well, and Dog at Death, I mean, we see Burns and Smithers going to pick out a new hound, and the guy showing around is green.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right.
They're still working out those animation kinks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So now we go backstage, and Bill and Marty from KBBL are backstage interviewing the band. And as I mentioned before, Harry Shearer was one of the original members. And they're talking, and we go out back to the stage where we get the sound guy testing the microphones, and we see someone in the crowd like threw a frisbee, and we see Bart catch it, which is kind of cool. Like I've seen the beach balls, which we see later on in the episode during the concert scene, but I don't think I've ever seen a frisbee.
Yeah, those flying novelty discs, they're pretty heavy, and beers at concerts are like $9 or $10. I'd be so upset if somebody hit my beer. No.
I don't think I've ever spilt a beer at a concert, so I got that going for me.
Yeah, and so during the interview, we see Spinal Tap, on the fall of the Iron Curtain, and I like Derek's like, I can't think of anyone who's benefited more from the death of communism than us. Nigel's like, oh, maybe the people who actually lived in the communist countries. And then Derek's like, oh yeah, hadn't thought of that.
I mean, they're all right.
Yeah.
So after Bart catches the frisbee, he attempts to throw the frisbee somewhere else, but he's a 10-year-old boy, and he just kind of limply throws it in the guy's face next to him. But the guy next to him is so stoned, he doesn't even realize he got hit in the face by a frisbee.
Oh wow!
He's like, what frisbee?
Yeah, I've been to some weird concerts, and I couldn't imagine that. That's funny.
Yeah, well, so the worst concert I've ever seen was Modest Mouse. It is by far the worst. So it was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Steve knows the venue all too well because he's seen a lot of concerts at the rave. And the opening bands were just terrible. I don't know what kind of music it was. It wasn't good. The acoustics were terrible, and we got, there was 5 of us, so we all got a contact eye. Not that I cared about the contact eye. It was just It was awful. It's the worst concert I've ever seen.
But see that Dave Matthews Band, that's why we were stoned out of our mind at that show.
Yeah, right. So we go back to Bill and Marty, and they want Spinal Tap to record a promo saying nobody rocks hard as them, and the band can't do it because they don't believe it's true.
Well, we don't know if you rock hard enough.
Yeah. Because Bill and Hardy, they rock. But, the band's like, well, what if these other people rock harder than you? We can't say that. So they end up saying something else. And so the manager comes back, and the band's complaining about water being on the stage, which probably isn't safe. And the guy mentions that the Coliseum is a hockey rink 6 days a week. Okay, why are you holding it at a venue that's a hockey rink?
No. We have concerts at the XL all the time, and they put actually at the XL they put wood planks over the ice.
Well, I know when the Admirals do the Milwaukee Admirals, for anybody who's unfamiliar with sports, is a minor league hockey team in Wisconsin, and they do concerts after games a few times during the season. They usually put like rugs down.
Yeah.
So it's not a splish splash show.
Yeah.
Well, I like how the stage is raised and somehow there's water on the stage.
And you'd think with all the lights that the water would just evaporate.
Right, yeah.
Those lights are hot.
Oh, it gets hot on stage.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So then we get Duff Beer, in association with Laramie Cigarettes, presents Spinal Tap. And so they introduce the band. The first two guys are perfectly in their spotlight, but the third guy is not. Or he's half in, half out.
Yeah, half and half on the spotlight. The lighting guy was... This whole show, just the technical setup of the show, completely off.
I've never been to a concert where the technical presentation was bad, just the music.
Well, I saw this documentary, or not documentary, but I saw Alice Cooper talking about Spinal Tap, and he's like, he goes, it's not, to us, it's not a comedy. He goes, that's literally how rock shows are, we get lost in backstage, there's always these mistakes. So he goes, I didn't find it a comedy when I saw it. So, I guess if you do it enough, there probably will be some problems, I guess.
Oh, yeah. So then, Spinal Tap starts the concert, and we see a pyro guy with one arm, clearly, try to light some pyro, and instead of him getting out of the way, it explodes, and he just lays on the ground on fire.
Yeah.
So is he dead? Is he still alive? We don't know.
That happened to James Hetfield from Metallica.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he had to do like half the tour just singing only because his hand got burnt.
Well, I know Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters broke his leg a few years back, and he still played his guitar. He still did the concerts, but he had like his own throne built for him.
If anybody deserves it, he's definitely one of them. Yeah, that guy's amazing.
So then we cut to the crowd as Spinal Tap is playing, and Bart and Milhouse are jamming out, and they're headbutting each other, because that's what you do at a rock concert like that.
I mean, I figure once.
Not 3 times?
Not 3 times. I think after the first time, your head kind of hurts.
I think I've done, like, chest bumping at a concert, but never head butting.
Yeah, never on purpose.
You gotta go to more punk shows.
I've never been really to any punk shows, so...
Yeah, I've been to a lot of punk and hardcore and metal shows, so the crowds get pretty crazy.
Oh, I got a bruised rib at a Dropkick Murphy show, so.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice, yeah. The last concert for COVID, I saw Social Distortion and Flogging Molly, so I was like, yeah. So at least that got to hold me over a little bit for COVID.
Now I have a question: did Flogging Molly chuck Guinnesses out into the crowd?
They didn't. Not that time. Yeah, but maybe I just didn't notice because I was.
Yeah, because I've also seen Flogging Molly, and Steve has seen Flogging Molly.
Well, I'm friends with Flogging Molly.
And the concert I saw them at, they were actually tossing beer out into the crowd, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
So then a fan is turned on because they want wind blowing at the guys to make it look majestic, but the setting is too high, and we see I think he's the lead singer of the band, is actually bald. His hair is kind of like a toupee, and because they're old. I mean, this is 92. They started in 1979. So this band is 13 years old. So, so then, we cut outside to Homer enjoying Snorfel's chips. But as I said earlier, we never see him sitting in the back. He's sitting in the front. And he doesn't seem to be, like, eating really heavily to rock the car.
Yeah. It's kind of sad.
Just, the amount of joy he's getting from this is like what I aspire to. Like, just from something so simple. I love it.
I'm a little surprised though that he'd be waiting there and maybe not going to like Moe's or the bowling. I don't know where the Coliseum is compared to the rest of Springfield, but to sit, I mean, usually concerts can last up to 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah,
right.
I guess my first concert, I was driven to, by an older friends that had a driver's license. So I was still 14, but I mean, did you, Andy, was your first concert like under the driving age where like a parent had to take you, or?
Yeah, my dad took me, and it was about an hour away. So,
oh wow,
yeah, roughly.
So he did wait in the car, or did he?
No, he loves Cheap Trick too.
Okay.
I got into Cheap Trick because I thought it was actually a Beastie Boys CD when I was in like 1st or 2nd grade. Because on the back, the guitarist has his hat pulled up, and he looks looks like one of the Beastie Boys. Okay. And then my dad's like, "No, man, that's Cheap Trick." Anyways, and then after that, we went to a million concerts. So.
Yes. Gotcha. And so we see a beach ball in the crowd bouncing around like we do at rock shows. And then some people in the rafters, unfurl a banner completely upside down. And I like how the member of Spinal Tap like turns his head upside down to read it because it says Spinal Tap rules. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's totally cool." But he was just really into it. He was like, "Hey, if people are gonna have banners, I gotta read them."
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't really think I've ever seen many banners at
the last Foo Fighters concert I went to, there were a few signs, and somebody actually made kind of a cool banner where it was a limo and it was white because one of the Foo Fighters songs is White Limo, and Dave Grohl loved it so much that they ended up playing White Limo.
Oh, that's cool.
As an audible, so.
Nice.
The first time I saw Social D, I brought a sign that said, "Can I play 1945?" And he didn't let me play, but how cool would that have been if they got me on stage? But it didn't work out.
Nice. At a Green Day show, Billy Joel asked, "Hey, does anyone know how to play guitar?" And some dude
I went to that same tour. That's crazy.
The Warning Tour, right?
Yeah. Oh, no. Mine was, sorry, go ahead. But no, mine was the one where it's like American Idiot Tour, but he did the same thing for American Idiot. Yep, that's awesome.
So we had a guy, he was second, upper deck, balcony level at our show. He was like, "Hey, if you're willing to jump off the balcony and crowd surf to the stage, we'll let you play." And I mean, it was about a 12-foot drop, and he was like, "Okay, everyone, pile around him." And so he landed, did like the whole arms together thing, like the whole fire net style thing. He caught the guy and crowd surfed him to the stage and he played.
Oh my god.
That is awesome. When I saw that live, I was like, that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, that he just brought random people up to play. That's awesome. That's cool. Dave, too. That's awesome.
Yeah, Dave Grohl likes to bring sometimes kids on stage. The concert I saw here in Minnesota, there was a kid, if I remember correctly, actually got to strum a few bars on Grohl's guitar. So that was kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, so we get another band member. He wipes his face and, towel. He thinks, fans want my crap, like picks and drum sticks.
So he throws
it, and sweat, and throws it into the crowd. And then the towel gets tossed back in his face.
Great.
With such force, too.
Yes.
Then they whip it back out of it.
Must have been a lot of sweat in that rag. And then we see a skinny guy and a bigger woman on his shoulders. And he struggles to keep her up.
I swear you see that at every concert.
A heavier person holding up a skinnier person?
No, a skinnier person holding up a heavier person.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, every concert you see that.
And then, we get pissed and we poke them until they get down.
Yes.
And so the band proclaims that they were driving down Route 401, and the crowd cheers. And Bart says, "That's only 4 miles from my house."
So I actually looked this up to see if there was a Route 401 somewhere in North America, and there is. It starts in South Carolina and ends in North Carolina, or flip-flop, whatever. So it's between South Carolina and North Carolina. And Steve and I love to try to guess, where the Simpsons are actually located. And this kind of throws a wrench into things because of the fact that in Mr. Lisa Goes to Washington, we see a map with Blinky on it, and Blinky is in Utah.
Yeah.
So we've been really hard on. You watch a lot of these episodes, and Utah really makes sense.
Yes,
geographically, where the Simpsons go, what they do. A lot of it really makes sense for Utah.
So, but now they're telling us they're in either South Carolina or North Carolina. Those jerks.
And it's funny because now we all know that the highway moves closer to Bart's house. Because if you see a lot of episodes where like Homer gets on the highway to go boating with Flanders, or or the Canyonero episode where Marge drives off the highway, like the highway is literally right by their house.
Yes.
So maybe a bypass is built and it connects that closer to the Simpsons house. And so we also see that Snake is at the concert and he's sitting next to Otto.
They seem to be pretty friendly.
Yeah. Well, Otto's a drug addict, alcoholic, horrible.
He's not a horrible
person, but
it's not very motivated.
Yes. So I can see Snake and Otto being friends.
Oh my God.
And I like how the band says they thought Shelbyville knew how to rock. And the crowd boos, obviously. But nobody rocks like Springfield. And we see that they put the Springfield card on the back of the lead singer's guitar. Now, to be fair, according to Bart's shirt, they only played 4 cities on this tour. So, and Springfield being the last one, I don't know how hard it would be to remember that they're.
But they said they thought Shelbyville knew how to rock, so they had to play in Shelbyville, or was it one of those secret concerts? Because I know Foo Fighters have done a few secret concerts while they're on tour, so maybe it was kind of a secret concert in Shelbyville.
Maybe they did some research and they're like, we did some research and we thought Shelbyville knew how to rock, but we changed our minds and went to Springfield. Who knows?
Yeah, we all know Shelbyville's all about that lemon tree, so.
Beet tree. Or beet bush? Is it beet bush?
Yeah.
And so they get to the part of the concert where they kind of try to slow it down a little bit, and they're like, "All hail our half-inflated Dark Lord," and you see a giant inflatable devil lower on the thing, and it's deflating, and he covers the drummer while he's drumming.
I love this because he's like drumming, and he drums faster and faster, and then he it's great. It's great animation. I love it.
Yep, and then
that was really edgy for 92, like to have that little part. I bet people were freaking out. I can't imagine.
But see, we learned something from you guys in your Simpsons show, where they set the censors, the script, and Bill Oakley was like, "Yeah, we just ignored it." so I feel like they were like, you know what, screw all this, we're gonna do it anyway. And they never lost it from Fox. So,
Yeah.
And then we see the guitarist on stage trying to tap his foot to keep beat, and there's water literally everywhere.
Because again, hockey rink 6 days a week. Apparently they just melt the ice and then set up, and then once I guess they tear down, they refreeze the ice.
I don't know, but then you see them pan away, and now the entire stage is literally filled with water.
Yeah.
And then, the band is now trying to include the audience, which a lot of bands do, as the 6th member of Spinal Tap.
Yeah. Well, you also missed, I did like the part where the drummer is playing, and not as the devil is floating down on him, but he's drumming so fast that he loses his sticks.
Yeah.
And then he bangs his head on one of the cymbals. I'm like, that is so rock and roll right there.
Yeah. Right, yeah. When he goes, the audience is a 6th member and it's completely quiet. I've probably seen this episode, 50 times in my life. Every single time, that just makes me laugh. It's so funny. Because the audience is like, yeah, okay, who's coming out?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep, but then the house lights don't go on. And then they're like, oh, screw this. Okay, cue the lasers. And the laser blinds one of the band members. Which, just to let you know, guys, lasers can't actually lasers can do that, but lasers at these type of shows are not real lasers.
Yeah.
It's just dedicated lights.
Yes.
Look like lasers. But yeah, throughout they're just unhappy with the entire concert. And then the lead singer is like, you know what, I've had enough of this spring dim. Because now he doesn't have the name on the back of his guitar anymore. Or he's just that pissed.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't think I've ever been to a concert that's ever been stopped because of bad lighting or bad whatever. I don't know if you guys ever experienced that.
Well, I was at a Real Big Fish show where they were playing for the first few minutes, or like first 5-10 minutes, and they just didn't like how they sounded. They're like, well, screw this, and they walked off stage.
Wow.
But it was all a joke. It was
a joke.
It was just a big joke. And so, like 5 minutes later, they come out back on stage, like, "Okay, guys, let's try this again." And they start playing.
That's pretty cool.
I saw two kind of quick. Like one time, I saw Jimmy's Chicken Shack with Everclear, and then in the middle of it, the lead singer just stops playing, and he answers his phone. Everybody thinks it's a joke, and they go, "What do you mean they won't let you in?" And so he goes, "Oh, okay." And so he goes, "Hey, Art's trying to get in the building. You know, the lead singer of Everclear, and security won't let him in." So they had to go do that. And then I saw a hardcore show one time in Washington. The band was called Furious Styles, and in the middle of their set, the owner management they cut the music and said, "Hey, you guys can't cuss." So they go, "Oh, okay." And then right at the beginning of the next song, he just yells a big F you, and then they cut the thing down, and then the security rushed the stage, and they got in a fight with security, and like a huge riot broke out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!" I saw a symbol flying in the air. Yeah, it was nuts.
Oh my god. So we learned that the band has only been playing for 20 minutes. It sounds like
show.
I mean, it sounds like maybe they did 3 songs.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, Otto says, "What a gnarly show." And Snake asks him if he wants to trash the stage. And Otto's like, "All right." And so all the crowd just bum rushes the stage. And poor Bart and Milhouse get run over by the crowd. How they get trampled to death will forever be a mystery to us. But they survive. And
as we know, though, I don't think this Coliseum was where Bart and Lisa on Ice takes place. I'm guessing it's a different ice arena, but this will be the first instance in a Simpson episode where an arena completely gets trashed.
So then we cut back out to Homer, and he's eating pork rinds light as police helicopters fly by. He's clearly oblivious to, because he's singing a song. I didn't take the time to look out what song he was singing because I couldn't really. I mean, I could understand the lyrics, but I didn't. I don't know if you guys are tempted to, but.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, I don't know.
So then we see police and the riot squad go into the Coliseum.
Yep, and so now we cut to Ken Brockman, doing covering the violence at the auditorium or at the Coliseum. He's like, "Tonight, a city weeps. As for the first time ever, a hockey arena becomes a scene of violence following a concert by Spinal Tap."
I love that. I love that quote so much because I'm a huge hockey fan, and so is Steve. And I mean, they don't fight as much anymore in hockey games, but that's just a great quote. It's such a great quote.
Especially for being a reporter, like how oblivious could you be like when it comes to that? That's awesome.
And I actually wrote down, so I actually watched this episode the morning of Game 1 between the Colorado Avalanche and Las Vegas Knights, hockey teams in the playoffs, and they actually had a huge fight in that game. So, clearly, Kent doesn't watch hockey, because they have been. So we cut back to the house, and Marge is watching the TV with Lisa when they cut in to, talk about the riot, and Marge hopes Bart is okay. And Lisa points at the TV and says, "See for yourself." And we see Bart swinging from the inflatable devil's tail, which breaks off and Bart falls to the stage. And again, he doesn't break anything. I think he gets a little banged up, but nothing too terrible.
It's a hardcore rock show. For your first rock show?
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, it is also Bart, as we know, he's a daredevil.
Yeah.
So, so the whole Kent Brockman segment is My 2 Cents with Kent Brockman, which I believe is the first time we see My 2 Cents.
No, we've seen that before.
Okay, we've seen it before.
Second or third.
And so, in Kent Brockman's opinion, they should just ban all music.
Yeah.
I don't think they're writing at a Christian concert. Or maybe, I don't know. I've never been to a Christian concert. Or I don't know, do the Amish do concerts?
Well, there was a riot at that Mozart concert, so.
I mean, all right, maybe they should ban all music. So Bart and Homer get home, and Bart proclaims to the family that he wants to be a rock star.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, hey, he saw a rock show, he wants to be a rock star.
I don't think I've ever watched, concerts and thought to myself, yeah, I want to be a rock and roll player. I mean, I played the violin, which was fun, but I don't think I ever got in my head, yeah, I should play guitar and lead a band.
But see, I knew I wasn't good at music, but I still wanted to be in the scene.
Yes.
And so I became a band manager.
Well, for those who can't do, they manage or teach, apparently.
And so, I mean, I was good at it. I got the band. I was managing some shows. We did like this Hot Zippo tour. The band that I managed got to open for Goldfinger down in Milwaukee. And that's where I met Flogging Molly and actually, became good friends with them for a bit. So, I mean, you get some perks for managing. I mean, hey, you probably get more perks being in a band.
Yeah.
But being the manager of the band, you still get a little bit of perks of doing it. So, and so Marge asked Marge asked Homer if Milhouse is okay, and Bart and Homer kind of look at each other like, oh crap, and Homer runs out the door, drives off. And we cut back to the Coliseum where Milhouse is under a stack of chairs.
So he basically got Skinnered.
Yeah.
Because Seymour he put stacks of paper on himself and he couldn't get out.
Oh, yeah.
So now Milhouse is trapped under... And, metal chairs, when
they're heavier than newspapers.
For sure.
Maybe. Don't forget, Milhouse is a child.
Okay, fair enough. And so Marge tells Homer that, if Bart's interested in music, they should, buy him a guitar. And Homer says they already have a guitar. And it's Maggie's wind-up guitar that plays Pop Goes the Weasel.
I get why they did this joke, but I don't think I've ever seen an instrument that's played Pop Goes the Weasel, like it's got the music box in it. But like the Jack in the Box that plays it, but never like a guitar or a drum set or
right.
even a piano.
Yeah, I think our closest one would be like those electronic ones now where you hit a button and they play. But yeah, I've never seen a wind-up one.
Well, I mean, I got really good at Guitar Hero.
Yeah, I think we all did at one point.
Yeah, dude, I could play. What was that ZZ Top song that was on Guitar Hero?
I know.
Sweet Child of Mine?
No, that's Guns N' Roses.
That's Guns N' Roses. What was the? I can't remember the ZZ Top.
Sharp Dressed Man.
Oh yes, you're right. That was it. I could play that one very, very well.
I can play guitar in real life, and I play a lot of like really fast metal. I think when you start playing Guitar Hero on Expert, I think that's harder than a real guitar for sure.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, when you have to move your pinky, and it's a lot of work. And so Marge and Homer buy Bart a real electric guitar, and it came with free lessons.
Yep.
And it's just a guitar instruction in 99 easy lessons.
To be fair, there are when I played violin, and I believe when you played trumpet, we had instruction books like to tell you how to play bars. And I also did private lessons, but I feel like I know I had booklets for my violin that taught me all the different scales and finger placements and all that. So, but 99 easy lessons, I don't know if it's going to be that easy to play guitar.
I first started trying to learn how to play guitar in 4th grade, and it came with a booklet like that, and I didn't learn anything until I was in about 7th grade. Okay. And then I would just watch Nirvana videos because Kurt Cobain played left-handed. So all you got to do is just mirror what he's doing because he's right-handed, and that's how I learned. And so,
Well, I believe...
Booklets would have helped me.
I believe in this episode, they bought Bart a left-handed guitar.
They did, yes.
Did they?
Yeah.
They did, yeah. Uh-huh.
But there's a scene later where Otto's playing it, and he's playing it right-handed.
Yeah, I put that in my notes. You know how hard that would be to play a guitar upside down, essentially? And he's doing chords, he's soloing, he's doing everything. That's insane.
That's a good read. I mean, I guess since I don't play guitar, I guess I wouldn't have even thought about that. And the funny thing is, my wife's left-handed. Okay. So she has a left-handed guitar, and we restrung one of her guitars so I could try playing it and failed. But
miserably.
Yeah, I never got good. I don't know. I think it's just my fingers. Like Lisa in the saxophone, the stuffy finger syndrome.
I kind of wonder though if this was an animation mistake or if they did this on purpose.
Like we do. Let's put a pin in it.
Yes.
Let's see if we ever see Bart doing any left versus right-handed activities.
Okay.
and we'll get back to you guys.
Yes.
We'll see if it's animation error, or if we actually know Bart is a left-handed kid.
Or maybe he's ambidextrous.
Well, if you're ambidextrous, I think you still have a dominant hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you just... Like, I could play pool, golf, bowl, both-handed, but I'm definitely better right.
Fair enough.
He is supposed to be left-handed. I guess, Matt Groening said either he's left-handed or his dad, or somebody's left-handed, and that's why they decided to make him left-handed.
No, Marge isn't left-handed.
See, later on there's an episode where they get into curling, and she goes, actually I am left-handed, but I didn't want to look weird, so who knows, yeah.
We'll put a pin in it and come back to it, because I feel like Flanders Leftorium would be really good at... Maybe that's where they got the left-handed guitar.
That's possible.
The Leftorium.
The Leftorium.
Bring it all around, I love it.
There we go, all right.
Yep.
So Homer threatens Bart to get good fast or pow.
Oh, God. I don't think our parents ever threatened us to get good at the instruments we decided to play.
No. So, no, I don't think so. I mean, if we liked it, we liked it. If we didn't, we didn't.
Yeah.
But then we get Bart imagining himself, his fantasy, and he is a burnt out band frontman who tells his manager and backup guitarist, apparently Milhouse.
Yes.
Because in his fantasy, Milhouse and him, since they were both at the concert together, maybe they both wanted to... But he tells him to slag off, because now he's British.
Yes.
And he performs a chart topper called Me Fans Are Stupid Pigs.
Oh, God. It's fantastic.
Just the disdain, I love it.
Yeah. But I do like how he's now a British rock star. Like, that's his fantasy, apparently.
Well, he saw Spinal Tap, and Spinal Tap were British.
Yeah, maybe. I guess that's the joke.
Yes.
All right. So Bart tries practicing. But Lisa keeps playing her saxophone over him because
I don't get that. I understand Lisa's good at saxophone,
but I never thought she would be the show off type.
Yeah, it seems like she's doing it intentionally to like play scales. But hey, I'm just playing scales with you, but you know what you're doing, Lisa. Come on.
Yeah, she's good. But then Bart's like obviously gets upset, so he goes outside and starts practicing, waiting for the bus. And Nelson comes up and asks Bart what he's playing, and Bart says Polly Wally Doodle.
And now this is an animation error.
This is a huge animation
error. As we see Nelson walking up to Bart and Lisa, his shirt and vest are pink and blue. His shirt is pink, his vest is blue. And they flip-flop colors after he asks Bart, and now his vest is pink and his shirt is blue. But then when they get back on the bus, it switches back to normal. So I wonder if there was an English translation error with the animators in Korea?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I do like kind of the joke behind the joke on this one, because in a later episode when Lisa's at Nelson's house, she has to get a ride from Marge to bring her back home.
Yes.
So in my head, I like to think that Nelson woke up super early just to walk to see Bart just to make fun of him. To get there to say Polly Wally crappy. Yeah.
And he is a bully, so I wouldn't put it past Nelson.
Yeah, a lot of effort in that one.
Yeah, but I like how, Otto compliments Bart on the cool guitar. Bart's like, yeah, but I think it's broken. And so Otto's like, yeah, let me check it out, and just starts shredding.
Right.
I mean, well, Otto's a guitar player, so he wants to make sure that the guitar's not broken.
Exactly.
Yep, and so Otto says all he did was play guitar, and his dad said he wouldn't amount to anything, and I like the look on his face. He's like, well... right.
Tiny minute, like a tiny second of self-realization, just like,
But to be fair, why didn't Otto make it as a guitarist? He's amazing.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. You think?
Although maybe did he we know he's kind of a stoner character, so maybe he just got too high too often and he couldn't make it to practices and concerts and
right.
And whatever band he was in just kicked him out.
Yeah, it is. Well, that might be an Otto thing. Yeah. So Otto plays a mini concert on the bus, which backs up traffic because he got really into it. Yeah. And so we get Martin. He's like, although I'm sure I'll receive a severe wedgie from my busmates, I must remind you, we should have been at school 10 minutes ago. That's so Martin.
And then somebody immediately gives him a wedgie.
Yeah.
He was right. He was going to get a wedgie for it, but he's out of line, but he's right.
Yep. And so Otto's like, oh, yeah. Like, duh. We gotta be to school. So Otto drives really fast, cuts through the Springfield tire yard, and, we see the kids, like, just completely bouncing up and down.
And another animation thing, Sherry and Terry's hair and dresses swap shades of purple. Because their hair is darker and their dresses are lighter, but in the scene, their hair is lighter and their dresses are darker.
Oh, good catch. I didn't even see that one. Nice.
It's a very quick one.
We get deep here, Andy.
Yeah, we really do.
And so then we see Spinal Tap is driving on the same road as Otto, and Otto speeds right past them, causing the bus apparently to crash off the side of the road and explode.
So all the members of Spinal Tap are now dead?
Yep.
Is that it?
Yeah, Harry Shearer was like, hey, we gotta kill ourselves off.
I wonder if that was his idea.
And we could do that in The Simpsons. We could just kill our characters off. And we'll never have to play another show again.
Wouldn't Otto go to jail for, murder for that? I feel like. I mean, I guess unless nobody knew it happened, because they were on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess all the victims are probably deceased now, so who would, oh
So,
my gosh, it got dark.
So then we see Otto drives through the annual police picnic, and I had questioned a few episodes ago.
Homer at the bat.
How many police officers did they have in the force? Well, I guess if you're doing an annual picnic, you probably have.
Well, we saw a shot of the thing. I mean, there's quite a few police officers.
So why don't we ever see any of the extras actually have speaking roles?
Right.
Give me. I love Eddie and Lou, but give me more.
Yeah, right.
So then I love how after Otto jumps the picnic, Wiggum gets up and he goes, "Did anybody get the license plate number off the school bus?" Okay, again, we get the dumb police chief Wiggum joke.
Yep.
Right.
Because incompetence. So then we see Otto crashes the bus into Jebediah Springfield's statue, and his bumper falls off, and he's got a sticker on there that says, "How's my driving?" And the number for it is 555, which is a lot of TV show numbers. Yep. The 555. 8821, and then people rush to not even cell phones. This is 92. They rush to payphones to call the number.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
I would love to see little kids watching this on Disney Plus. Now, what are all those people doing?
Yeah, what are they doing?
Every once in a while on Facebook, I'll see somebody type a post. Oh, say something that would date you. I used to use payphones.
Right.
Oh, so that comes into my mind.
Yeah.
So now we're at the school in Skinner's office, and he says, "Thankfully, no one got hurt." And I love how Otto, he's like, "I stand by my record of 15 crashes and not a single fatality." That's okay. That's incredible that he's never killed anybody, but 15 crashes seems to be 14 too many to still be a school bus driver.
Yep, and so now we get the cops there, and Officer Lou's like, "Hey, let's see your license, pal." And Otto's like, "No, can do. Never got one. But if you need proof of my identity, I wrote my name on my underwear." Oh wait, these aren't mine.
I love the fact too when Otto says he doesn't have a license, Skinner he freaks out because clearly Skinner is the one that's keeping on.
Well, you should probably So that's the weird thing. Most cities, the school buses aren't hired by this, unless it's a private school.
Correct.
Private schools would have their own school bus system.
Yeah.
Springfield obviously is a public school, so they'd have a city. So Skinner, yes, probably should know, but Skinner, I'm guessing, didn't hire him.
Probably not. So, Skinner suspends Otto.
Well, he's like, that tears it. Until you get licensed and wear your own underwear, mister, you are suspended without pay. And Otto's like, well, who's going to drive the bus? Skinner's like, I drove an all-terrain vehicle in Da Nang. I think I can handle it.
And again, another reference to his time in Nam, which is great. I do love the fact that Skinner suspended Otto until he got his license and wore his own underwear. Yeah. Is Skinner going to check after Otto gets his license that he's wearing his own underwear? What if Otto's not wearing underwear that day? You don't want that.
See, that would have been a great ending to this episode when Otto gets his license back. I would have loved to seen Skinner
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Otto, can you drop your pants? I need to make sure that you're wearing your underwear.
So then, the school day ends. The kids get on the bus. Bart sees Skinner driving the bus. He asks where Otto is, and Skinner replies, "That's one palindrome you won't be hearing for a while." And Otto is a palindrome, because it's worded backwards. And then another... Now, Ralph's short shirt, and actually the pop is blue.
Yep.
His shirt is orange. Or just red.
Well, maybe Ralph, unlike all the other characters in Springfield, actually have changes of clothes in their home.
I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. So another, I don't know if it's in an animation error, but definitely a quirk in the animation. Another one. So then the kids all sing "Hail to the Bus Driver." Hail to the bus driver man. He drinks and cusses. He stinks up the buses. Hail to the bus driver man. I love how Skinner sings along with it too. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Skinner is in on his own, like, jokes. Like, even during when he's at the army, he's like, you know, he's kind of in on the jokes of everything.
Yeah.
So, we also see, you know, a lot of traffic, and Lisa tells Skinner that he has to be more aggressive. Anything, you know, maybe. So I'm guessing Springfield's obviously not in Minnesota. Otherwise, we get Minnesota nice, and you know they let people in. But no one's letting Skinner in. He's like, "Oh, someone will wave me in," and we see while this is happening, Skinner gets his 5 o'clock shadow while waiting for traffic to open while driving the bus.
Yeah,
that was really good. And so, cut to the Springfield DMV, and Patty is laughing about the time Homer got his nose stuck in the toaster. Just a random shot of Patty and Selma laughing, and they say, "We'll have to watch the video later."
Well, when did this happen? I mean, Homer is dumb, but is he that dumb?
Oh, he was making sure. Well, look, if you want to check to see if your toast is brown enough, you have to stick your face inside the toaster.
You pop up the toast, and if it's not done...
But then you got to push it back down, and things have to reheat. You know, it's a lot of trouble. Sticking your nose in the toaster is definitely easier.
Oh, my God.
I'm with Homer on this one.
And you might go back in time. Who knows?
Yeah, right? Yeah. And so Otto goes to the DMV for his driver's test, and we get Patty. She's like, "My name is Patty. I'll be testing you. When you do good, I use the green pen. When you do bad, I use the red pen. Any questions?" And Otto's like, "Yeah, one. Have you always been a chick? I mean, don't want to offend you, but you were born a man, weren't you? You can tell me. I'm open-minded." Oh my god. And then Patty drops the green pen. "I won't be needing this."
I don't know if that joke still holds up today.
Yeah, would that fly today? I mean, I
mean, I'm a straight guy. Like, I can't talk to that joke. I don't know how the LGBTQ community would feel about that joke.
Right, yeah, same. You know, I don't know either. I feel like it wouldn't, but he also wasn't like being mean about it or anything. No. It seemed like it was, but still nowadays I would steer clear from that.
Yeah.
So just because I think it's pretty offensive.
So we see Otto, trying to get his driver's license, and he knocks over all the cones, and Patty asks, he asks Patty how he did. He failed every test and misspelled his name on the bus.
No. Misspelled bus on the application.
Oh, yeah.
How do you misspell bus? It's 3 letters.
I mean, he thought he did great. He hit every cone.
Because he's high.
Well, yeah, he even looked out the bus window as that cone is, teetering and it falls over. He's like, yes! Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think maybe 2 S's. I don't know how else you could misspell bus. That's super weird, but that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. And so, once again, we cut back to Skinner, with his 5 o'clock shadow, trying to open up, get through traffic, and still hasn't moved. And Ralph's like, "Dude, I'm joining in." And he sings, "He steps on the clutch and the toilet goes flush. Hail to the bus driver." Oh, Ralph. Oh, his lyrics are great.
And then Skinner yells at Ralph to shut up because he's angry because he's trying to get the kids home. My question is, how long was Skinner waiting? And how long would it take parents to call the school, either the school administration be like, "My kids aren't home yet. Where are they?"
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's becoming dark. Yeah.
see, this is why Otto was driving the bus. He was he might have been horrible, but at least he was aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah, well, sure.
So Otto goes to his apartment only to find he's been evicted. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to get my stuff? He's like, well, all I found in there was some magazines and some mustard in the fridge. He's like, I had mustard?
So I want to know, how much money does Otto make as a bus driver? Because I have a friend who's a mechanic. He used to work for Durham, and which does bus driving. And as a mechanic, they still made him drive the bus from time to time. And he makes a decent amount as a mechanic. But I've seen a sign in Green Bay for bus drivers. I think the starting wage was between $16 and $19.
That's what it's here in Oregon, in Salem. Yeah, that's like 16 to 19.
So
yeah.
what is Otto just spending all of his money on drugs and alcohol and rock concerts?
I guess so. 92. I mean, marijuana is still illegal, so maybe the rate was way higher. I guess. I mean, he's not spending on food or furnishing for his apartment, so yeah, I don't know.
I mean, all he had was mustard. Okay, so to be fair, he did buy some mustard at some point.
What if it's like the most spendy, fanciest mustard in the world?
Can I offer you some Grey Poupon?
Well, he definitely didn't buy it at the Quickie Mart.
No.
Which leads us into our next part. So Bart goes to the Quickie Mart to get a squishy, and Bart, Pooh tries to convince him to give him a chutney squishy. And Bart, obviously finds it disgusting. And if you guys have never had Indian food, chutney is a spicy condiment made of fruits or vegetables with vinegar, spices, and sugar. I mean, I don't think that would be a very good squishy flavor.
Well, and Apu's from India, and this is where chutney originated, was India.
So you live in Portland of weird and crazy things. Do you guys have chutney squishies?
I wouldn't doubt it, honestly. I love Indian food, but I do not. Yeah, that chutney, I'm okay with that. I'm fine. No, thank you. But yeah, there's anything you can think of in Oregon or in Portland. It's just, you can probably find it.
Yeah.
So as Bart walks outside, there is a sign on the outside of the Quickie Mart that reads, Duff Beer Suitcase for $12.99. And I gotta ask this question. I want a beer suitcase. But what is a beer suitcase?
Well, okay, what did Homer buy? Wasn't there the weird Duff thing that Homer bought in season 1? No, in season 1 or 2 for a party of some for the party where he saw Maud's booze.
Yeah.
He bought some sort of giant Duff something that episode. I can't remember. That was over 50 episodes ago. So
maybe that's what I mean. Does the Duff come in a suitcase and you buy it in a suitcase?
Yeah, I tried to do some research on it, but all I could find is legitimate suitcases that are designed just to hold beer. So
maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is a suitcase with a cooler with the Duff logo on it, and that's what it is.
They're selling it for $12.95. That's a great price, though, because the ones online were very spendy.
Yeah. And so Bart, obviously didn't like his chutney squishy, so he goes and throws it in the dumpster. And Bart's like, Otto, man, you're living in a dumpster? And Otto's like, oh, man, I wish. Dumpster brand trash bins are the top of the line. This is just a Trashco waste disposal unit. Which we all know. Well, okay, so is Dumpster a brand kind of like Band-Aid, or is Dumpster actually the name of the...
No, I think it is a dumpster.
Is Dumpster name of the unit, or is it actually a brand?
No, I think Dumpster is the name of the unit, not a brand name.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
We're thinking.
Yeah. So then Bart invites Otto.
No, not yet.
Oh, you still going out with
not yet. Okay. I still got more of this quote, man. So Bart's like, Otto, why don't you come home with me? You can stay in our garage. A garage? Oh, somebody likes me up. Somebody up there likes me.
And then the lid to the Trashco waste disposal unit falls on Otto's head as he says that. So then we cut to it's 3 a.m. in the morning, and Otto decides this is a good time to play the guitar, and he wakes up the Simpsons, and we see Maggie's crib roll past Homer and Marge's bedroom because of the bass that he has this guitar set to.
Yeah, he was rocking the house.
He was literally rocking the house.
Now, okay, I have a kid. Our crib was definitely not on wheels. I mean, it could. I mean, theoretically, as a parent, if your kid's on the same floor and you wanted to wheel them into your bedroom as part of something, I kind of get that. But I feel like if that's the case, there should be kind of locking mechanisms on the wheels. So.
Don't forget, this is 92. They didn't care about safety in 92.
Oh, right.
So...
I mean, Maggie could have got really hurt. She could have rolled down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Marge and Homer go to the garage, and Marge asks Bart what is going on. I love this scene. So Bart says he thought she might forget about their conversation from earlier, so he plays a tape recording of him asking if Otto can stay in the garage as long as he wants, and then we hear Bart do a crudely imitating Marge impersonation saying, yes he can, and the cherry on top, Homer goes, Marge, how could you? Because obviously he can't hear anything because he's got ringing in his ears.
Yeah.
So he just assumes that it's Marge's voice.
Okay.
So I did find another animation error though.
Okay.
When Otto's playing the guitar, it has to be Bart's, I'm assuming,
yes.
based on, but the tuning keys now are on the wrong side of the guitar. If it's a left-handed guitar, the tuning key should be on the bottom, but in this scene, they're actually on top.
Interesting.
So obviously the animators don't play guitar.
Clearly.
But
I missed that one.
So I do want to ask, has anyone ever, to a little bit, our mom really does forget a lot of things she tells us.
Yes.
All the time. And and now that with cell phones with recording devices, I could record, our conversations and play it back to her to say, no, you actually said this. And I love text messaging because even my mom will forget that she's texted something to us and I can go back. Have you guys ever faked anything that your parents done?
Not my parents, but I'm in a group chat with 3 of my best friends, and one time I took a screenshot, and then I changed the wording, and I was like, "No, look, you actually did say this." And they're like, "What? I can't believe that!" And I was like, "No, I'm just messing with you. It's a fake." But
I the one thing I loved to do in high school was to my friends, I'd always tell them they owe me $5, and one of my friends actually said. He was like, I do owe you $5. And I was like, no, dude, I'm just joking. He's like, but no, for real, I do. And to this day, I don't know if he was being serious about it or trying to get me back. So I've done it to my friends, but never our parents.
Yeah, see, this is one of the things why, people do love the name of our podcast, The Simpsons Did It. Because we always get to these things where that's why we love talking about family and what we do in our lives. And we want to see how much The Simpsons actually influence
our lives.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And
I think it did a lot of influencing.
And I think it's either I'll kind of, and we're trying to figure out, is it subconscious? Like, oh, yes, you did this to your friends, Andy, but subconsciously, did you think of this episode? You're like, oh, Bart tried to fake out his mom by doing this, so I'm going to do it to my friends.
Right. Yeah. When Homer goes, people don't recognize themselves on tape, I wanted to ask you two, the first time you listened to, the first time you listened to your own podcast, did you think you sounded weird?
I mean, this is already my 3rd podcast.
Oh, okay.
And I do all the editing, I do everything. So I think, probably the first time it sounded kind of weird, but I've definitely gotten completely over it. And I think I actually do, when I actually edit, I think I do sound like myself. Like, I think it's just gotten to that point where I do know my own voice now.
So for me, the first time I've actually heard my own voice over any kind of recording, I went to school for television. I actually work in television, but I work behind the scenes because I did a semester's worth on camera for a sports segment. I hated the sound of my own voice. I couldn't watch it. I would be more than happy to be in front of the camera, but I hated how I looked in front of the camera. And so that got me to behind the camera. I've only listened to maybe, I don't know, 1 full episode of our podcast. And I can't listen to my own voice, let alone a lot of people can't stand hearing my voice, but they'll have to live with it. So I don't know. How was it for you, Andy?
The first time I heard my voice, I was 14. The band I was in, we recorded our first CD, and then after the songs, he would record it. I could hear myself talking. I was like, oh my gosh! But now that I'm older, I know this is kind of conceited, but I like my voice now. When I listen to it, I'm like, all right.
That's all right. So Yeah, well, I mean, we don't actually hear our voices through our ears because of the way things are set up. Science! Marge, so Marge asks Otto why he can't stay with his parents, and Otto says him and the Admiral don't get along. So clearly Otto's background is his father
military
is like Navy.
Yeah.
Well, okay, military, sure.
Yeah.
My mind goes to Navy when I hear Admiral.
Well, yeah. But it's more of that military school. I bet he was like, he could have been like a army brat type, kid, and he just, wanted to, okay, good example. He is the Ted of The Simpsons. Right? He plays guitar. I'm talking Bill and Ted.
Oh, Bill and Ted. My mind went to Ted Mosby and How I Met Your Mother. I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Like, Ted and Bill and Ted. Yeah.
I went to Ted Danson. I was like, what's happening here?
No.
You should be more specific when you say the name Ted.
I guess there's more Teds than
I could. My mind also went to the teddy bear in Ted.
Look, we're talking about '90s stuff right here. Bill and Ted were '90s.
Yes,
let's get on the same page.
All right, so Bill and Ted, yes.
So remember, Ted's dad was an army man, and so I think Otto. I don't know. I would have to ask one of our Simpsons folks next time, like who they based Otto on, but that's kind of where my mind goes to. Is like Otto was like the Ted Theodore Logan
there you go
of the Simpsons.
So Otto pleads to stay with the Simpsons, saying he has nowhere else to go, and Homer says that line didn't work for his dad, and it's not going to work for Otto. I mean, so did Abe want to come out of the retirement home to live with the Simpsons, or was it
like when he was leaving the house, like before he got the nuclear power plant job?
Oh,
because remember he went to go live with Barney in the
No, because Homer says that line didn't work for his dad.
Oh, for his dad.
Yeah. So Abe was trying to live with the Simpsons, and Homer wouldn't allow it.
Oh, I think he did for 2 weeks, because remember when he goes, all I have is this house that I built with my own hands. And he goes, you didn't build this house, he went on a crooked game show. And I'd be honored if you could stay with me. I kicked him out 2 weeks later.
Yeah, so Marge is like, I know we didn't ask for this, Homer, but doesn't the Bible say, whatsoever do you do the least of my brothers that you do unto me? And Homer's like, yes, but doesn't the Bible also say, thou shalt not take moochers into thy hut?
Which is like one of the best Homer lines ever. I think that's so funny to me.
Yeah, that's some horrible quoting of the Bible, because I don't even think Marge quotes the Bible correctly.
No, I guess I don't think so.
I know the line she's talking about. Basically, treat thy neighbor as you would treat yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what she was going for, but I don't even think I said it right. So Homer agrees to let Otto stay, but he gets to treat him like garbage, and Otto asks him what's the catch? Because people already treat him like garbage, so he's used to it.
He already lived in a garbage can. Come on.
Exactly. So
yeah.
So then we cut to Otto watching TV, and Marge says he shouldn't be sitting around watching TV all day, which Marge isn't wrong. We should not be sitting around watching TV all day when it's nice out. Unlike today here in Minnesota, where it got up to almost 100 degrees.
Yeah.
You should go out and enjoy your day, or do chores. Enjoy the day. So Otto agrees, and he says he wants to read a book, and so he asks if they have any Where's Waldo books. That's not reading.
Well,
if he can't spell bus,
it is an activity.
I mean, if he can't even spell bus, he's probably not going to read.
He never joined Krusty's illiteracy campaign.
Give him a hoot, read a book.
Nice.
And so Marge suggests Otto get a job. But the only thing that Otto was good at was driving the school bus. The man took that away from him.
The man took says, I can't.
That would be debatable that he was good at driving the school bus.
Well, debatable. I think he was better than Skinner.
Correct.
Let's just say that. And so Otto is playing the guitar for Bart and Homer, or for Bart, and Homer yells at him to knock it off because he can't hear himself think. So Otto stops for 1 second so Homer can think. And all his thoughts were, I want peanuts. But he didn't find his $20 yet.
So, no, he can't buy his peanuts.
$20 can buy many peanuts.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, that's a little later episode.
Oh, God.
And so Homer asked Bart while he stopped playing the guitar, which is a fair question.
Yes.
And Homer's like, well, if something's hard to do, then it's not worth doing. You just stick that guitar in your closet next to your shortwave radio.
CNN radio, Bart.
Yep, your karate outfit.
CNN when Flanders failed.
And your unicycle.
Which we haven't seen yet, but he does eventually ride his unicycle.
Yeah. And we'll go inside and watch TV.
Oh, that is terrible advice.
I just wanted to give advice. If anybody's looking to start playing guitar, I tell everybody start with the bass first. Because you can start playing songs with one finger, and then you eventually go to 2 fingers, and then 3, and then 4, then you get dexterity, and guitar is super easy after that. So.
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, I was forced to play bass in one of our garage bands as a kid growing up, because, I couldn't handle. Now, I did learn a lot of 3-chord stuff, like some Green Day and Nirvana, and really, really easy 3-chord stuff.
Yeah, power chords, I love them.
Yeah, so that was
that's
my
like 95% of rock. So that's all you need to learn.
So that was my extent of playing the guitar back in the day. And so we also see Otto leaving the sink running.
Yeah, because he used the master bathroom because Homer really needed to pee, and Otto walks out wearing one of Homer's bathrobes, which I feel like would be too big for Otto because Homer's fat. Granted, I think Otto might be a little taller, so maybe it fits a little better. And he calls Homer Poppin' Fresh.
Yeah,
but he didn't do the sound.
And then pokes him in the stomach.
But he didn't do the sound.
I know, that was sad.
Well, Homer was angry.
Yep. And so Homer tells Marge that Otto has to go, and she agrees. But he is good with the kids. And then we get another floor shot here up to Lisa's room, and we see there's gold and gold coins and a crown and a scepter and jewels and everything in between the floorboards. And this is something me and Robert have been discussing, obviously, ever since episode 1, is how the hell do the Simpsons afford things?
We found our answer.
And I think we found our answer. They have a secret stash of gold and jewels in their floorboards. Do you have gold and jewels in your floorboards?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of customary. I thought it was
right.
It doesn't ever
crap. I'm falling behind.
Yeah, you just bought a house. You got to get on this.
Yes.
Yeah, rip up the floorboards and tell us.
And so Otto, I love this. Otto is telling Lisa like a scary story about a killer, and then he's like, and it turns out it was me. And Lisa obviously screams. It's like, oh, I was just kidding.
But she doesn't stop.
Scary story.
Yeah, for an 8-year-old. Yeah.
but Otto is good with the kids.
So Marge says they're the only family he's got because Homer really just wants to get rid of them after the Lisa scare. And Homer says he doesn't care because this isn't Happy Days and Otto is not the Fonz. And Otto comes into the room and goes, "Hey!" Because that's the Fonz. And, fun fact, Henry Winkler's from Wisconsin.
Oh, I met Henry Winkler and he was insanely nice. He's like, "Hi, my name's Henry. What's yours?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like,
I've heard he's a really nice guy. So
you guys got lucky. I met Henry Winkler's house. His house? Yeah.
How do you mean a house?
So we were on when I was out in LA shooting a commercial for Best Buy.
Oh, that's right.
One of our drivers was like, "Hey, do you want to go on tours of celebrities' homes?" And so it saw where like Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire and all these people live. And we drove around. He's like, "Oh, that's where Henry Winkler lives." And so we stopped and we tried to see if he was there, and he wasn't. So I met his house.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah. So Bart asks Otto what he's going to do, and Otto suggests he might fake his own death because there's a lot of money in that. No, because you're dead. And so Marge suggests retaking the driver's test. But remember, as Homer said, if it's something that's hard to do, it's not worth doing. So Otto doesn't think he can do it, but because last time he got a 0, and this time he is hungover.
Yeah.
So it's clearly he was sober when he did it and he got a 0, and this time he's hungover, so he's going to do worse.
Well, maybe he's a better driver when he's drunk or high.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just love the Homer, like, he goes, anything hard is not worth doing, and then in 3 Men in a Comic Book, when he's, like, working for suckers. You know what I mean? I love the setup for Bart. It's awesome.
Yeah.
See, and Andy knows being high makes you better at your job.
Exactly.
So we're not in a legal state yet. We don't know these things.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Neither of our states are legal yet. But Michigan is. Anyways, Bart tells Otto that Otto's the coolest adult that he knows, which, to be fair, there's Burns, there's Homer, there's Marge, There's his aunts.
Flanders.
I mean, come on. Otto is probably the coolest adult in Springfield. So Otto...
No, it's Disco Stew.
Disco's dead. So Otto tells Bart that Homer was right and that he is a bum. And Bart says Homer called Otto a sponge, which makes Otto mad. And he punches a few cracks. Oh, because this all takes place at the DMV.
Yeah.
And so that makes Otto mad, and he punches a few cracks in the wall of the DMV. Because as we all know, things in Springfield aren't built greatly.
No, they're not.
But I like the fact that Otto gets angry over the fact that he was called a sponge and not a bum. Because they're basically synonyms for each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
but we all know that Otto has no vocabulary.
Correct. So Otto walks into the DMV and Patty calls him Wee Willie Washout. Because,
Welcome back, Wee Willie Washout.
So he tells Patty that he came to get his license, and he told her he wants to staple it to Homer's bald head, and so she helps him. So she basically gives him all the answers to the tests. He does the driving thing, but he runs over everything, but Patty doesn't care. She's like, let's go get margaritas.
Yeah.
So
well, Otto was also telling her horrible Homer stories.
He had a whole chicken wing, on his head.
Yeah.
So, because, Otto now hates Homer, and Patty and Selma hate Homer, so...
That's a good motivational tool.
Yeah.
Just hate Homer.
Correct. Especially if you're trying to get your driver's license.
Yep.
And so we see that Otto got his driver's license, and he is 5 feet 10 inches, 150 pounds, and he was born January 18th, 1963. And this is also the first time we actually see that his last name is Man, spelled with 2 N's. We all know Bart calls him Otto Man.
Yep.
But Steve got the Simpsons trivia game many, many moons ago. And one of the questions was, what's Otto's last name? And I had no idea. And he's like, it's Man. I'm like, what are you talking about? Bart always calls him Otto. It never clicked into my mind until that moment.
Yeah, I guess they were originally thinking it was going to be mechanic, but that didn't go, so they changed it to Man.
Maybe.
Yeah, and it is kind of sad. In all the Simpsons groups I'm in, they always say it's, happy birthday to Homer, Marge. Everyone knows the dates of all these people, but no one ever gives Otto any love for birthday wishes. I think I'm going to start this trend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just remember, Kevin Costner and Otto have the same birthday, and you'll be set.
Okay, perfect.
So Otto was driving the bus, and he hits the bus stop sign, and it's bent over. But the very next shot, when the bus drives away, it's back to being upright again. So
these animators, man,
they did not.
They did not do very well for this episode.
I mean, they're in Korea and they have to translate English into Korean. What do you expect? So then the kids sing "Hail to the Bus Driver," and we cut back to Skinner, who says, "Yes, hail to the bus driver." The bus driver Man. And that we get the end of the show. And I think that's the perfect ending to this episode.
Yeah.
So, Andy, I know you've listened to our podcast, but for any new listeners out there, we always like to remind our guests that we have a rating system for how we like to rate our shows when we do our final thoughts. We have 1 is Dough, which is obviously really bad. 2 is Eat My Shorts. 3 is Don't Have a Cowman. 4 is Sprinkles, and 5, Everything's Coming Up Millhouse. And as we also like to do, Andy, you are our guest. We will ask you to give us your final thoughts and your grade.
I love the episode. I always love the episodes where they expand the Simpsons universe, especially at the beginning couple seasons, because they kind of take away from the family, and now it's becoming like a real world. So for that reason, I'm going to say Everything's Coming Up Millhouse.
Nice. Yeah, this is a fantastic episode. It flows really well. The jokes, it's so amazingly, you get Ralph with one of his good, not catchphrases, but one of his great lines throughout the series. Yeah, the animation was hit or miss in this episode, but you're going to get that in the early seasons of The Simpsons. I don't think it takes away from the episode at all. You get the Otto, it's an Otto-centric episode. As Andy just said, it expands on the Simpsons universe. It's great. I think they hit all the right notes. I'm also going to do a 5. Everything's Coming Up Millhouse.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of funny. And I don't know, maybe it's just because it was earlier seasons. I'd say 95% of season 3, I know the episode. I remember the episode. I've seen the episode hundreds of times. This is just one of the other episodes. I think I mentioned it a couple episodes ago. I can't remember which one it was. Oh, the Separate Vocations episode. Where it was like, this one just flew over my radar. Like, it wasn't an episode that was like the front of my mind. Like, it was really funny that how many people, when I said, what episode in season 3 do you want to be a guest on? This was it. This was like...
Well, the Spinal Tap stuff and the concert.
Yeah, it was, maybe it was because of my not seeing Spinal Tap that just affected my knowledge or remembrance of this episode. And after watching it again, yeah, it was funny. It's definitely not on the top of my list. Like, it really isn't as like a favorite, you know. I don't think it makes my top 10. I mean, there's just so many great episodes. But yeah, the jokes were there. I love Otto. Otto was really funny. It was really good to see him have his own role. The concert into the bus stuff was just another one of those. Let's start the episode one way, finish the episode in a completely different direction.
I still think it flowed really well.
Yeah,
for one of those episodes.
It did. I don't know. I'm gonna go 4 sprinkles just because it just. Maybe once I watch Spinal Tap, I'll have a better appreciation for this episode.
You definitely will.
I can raise it. But
no clean sweep for the ratings today.
I know, it's sad. Sorry, guys. But it does have a lot of funny lines in it. Like, it really does, but it just doesn't hit my top tier for episodes that kind of hit my 5 level of stuff. So we'll finish it out like we always do with our character profile. And this week we do have the lovely and always long-haired Otto Man. His main occupation is bus driver for the Springfield Elementary.
I still want to know how he keeps that job.
His side gigs is driver for the Springfield Nuclear Power Plant family events, which we saw back in the
baseball
Dancing Homer episode. Yep. Springfield Pool Mobile.
I remember that
which we have not gotten to yet.
Nope.
One day a year.
Yep. Yeah,
how much spending money is he getting?
Yep. It's an easy gig. Yep. Springfield Seniors Gambling Junket Bus.
When they go to Nevada.
When they go to Nevada to gamble.
Yep.
So we don't know that, but
we do. That was a past episode.
No. I know that, but we don't know it's Nevada. We just guessed based on our Utah. Yes. That they were going because Utah doesn't have legalized gambling, but Nevada does, and it's as close as it could be. That was our first, I think, episode where we decided it must be Utah. Because
one of the first,
yeah. And then lastly, Springfield Bloodmobile.
Which we have not gotten to yet.
No, we have. That was the one where Bart donates blood to save Burns' life.
Yeah, and he gets the big tiki.
And Otto's working underneath the... Yeah.
And he uses chicken wing wipes to wipe his hands off. And throws it in his chicken bucket. Yeah, that was really good. His favorite songs, Freebird, Purple Haze, Frankenstein, and Iron Man.
I mean, classic.
Yep. He's a metalhead. Literary interests, stuff from vampires' point of view.
Also, I'd like to add in there, where's Waldo?
Yeah, right. But yes, he asked Marge if they had any books from the vampire's point of view, which we definitely don't get enough of those books. Funky friend, Snake.
Yep.
So we learned this episode that he's friends with Snake. And his driving record, 15 accidents and not a single fatality.
Yep.
Put that in the win column for Otto.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, this has been fun. Fantastic episode, fantastic chat. Andy, before we close it out, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, your podcast, and anything else you want to plug?
Oh, cool. Yeah. So, we're, the podcast we do is a 90s nostalgia podcast. We try to bring it from a little different angle. It's a LGBTQ plus BIPOC, podcast. One of the hosts, Jeff, he's gay. Allie is trans, and I'm Native American. So we talk about 90s things, but we kind of do it from our kind of perspective growing up. It's a lot of fun. We interview a lot of people. If you love The Simpsons, we've interviewed Bill Oakley, Al Jean, Jaden LeBron, amazing talent. And it's just a lot of fun, and we'll definitely have to have you two on there soon to do something Simpsons at least. Or we could even maybe go out and maybe do a critic episode or something Simpsons related. Or just get you out of your wheelhouse and do something else completely different in the 90s.
That would be
We'd
fun.
be more than happy to have you.
We've already been asked to do a Disenchantment episode on a different podcast. So we don't have to talk about Simpsons. We can talk about something else. We lived through the 90s, we're all about that.
But yeah, you can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, Anchor, Facebook.com/Notable Nostalgia, Instagram, anywhere you type in Notable Nostalgia on a social media platform, you'll find it.
Perfect, awesome. And so once again, you can find us pretty much everywhere: Facebook, The Simpsons Did It Pod. Podcast, Instagram, The Simpsons Did It Pod, Twitter, Simpsons Did It PC. Head over to YouTube, type in The Simpsons Did It Podcast, and search by channel, and you'll get us and not a bunch of South Park stuff.
Also on YouTube, make sure to click like and subscribe so we can get our own URL.
Yep, and then if you guys absolutely love us as much as we know you guys do, feel free to head over to buymeacoffee.com/The Simpsons Did It Pod, and feel free to donate whatever you feel you can afford, or nothing. Obviously we want to give you everything for free, podcasting wise, but we do have stickers, and hopefully in the future with all your donations, other fun things like hats and mugs and fanny packs, because 90s.
Yes.
And anything else we could think of to give everyone as gifts. So feel free, if you can, head over there, 5, 10, whatever. Just head over there and donate if you can. And Andy, once again, thank you for coming on. This has been spectacular. So until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.
Shh.